Elizabeth at A Literary Princess. If you are new here, welcome. I'm a 6-year PhD candidate in English literature with a focus on Victorian women novelists. And as you might expect, I love to read. Today I have a special Jane Austen July video for you. If you don't know, Jane Austen July is an event here on BookTube where we focus on reading Jane Austen and all things related to her in July. And it is hosted by Katie from Books and Things, Marissa from Blatantly Bookish, and Claudia from Spinster's Library. So I thought that it would be fun today to show you my Jane Austen collection. I did something similar a few Victobers ago for my Bronte collection, and I figured let's do it for the Jane Austen one, which is smaller than the Bronte one, I will say, but I do have a fair amount of stuff. And I figured instead of just looking at books, we would also look at movies and other little kind of knickknacks that I have around that are Jane Austen themed. So we will start with books by Jane Austen, then go to books about Jane Austen, then to movies, and then to miscellaneous, I suppose we will call it. So let's jump in. So the first of the books by Jane Austen that I have is this beautiful Folio Society edition of Sense and Sensibility. As you can see, it has this gorgeous cover, and then it comes out to reveal, and it's illustrated. It's so pretty. I'm like too afraid to read it, to be perfectly honest. This was a birthday present from one of my former roommates, and it was like such a generous present. I'm so grateful to her. But like, yeah, I'm afraid to actually read it from here because it's so nice, and I'm just like, I'm not capable. I don't want it to get dirty or anything. So yeah, this is beautiful. One of my like prized pieces of my book collection, if you will. So everything from there doesn't look as good. Next, we have another copy of Sense and Sensibility. This is just a like random copy done by digireads.com. I think my mom got it for me. I've had this since I was a teenager. So this is the one that I actually read from if I'm going to read Sense and Sensibility, because it doesn't, I don't have to worry about wrecking it because it's not super pretty and it's pretty inexpensive. Next up, we have one of my copies of Pride and Prejudice. This is an Everyman's Library edition. This is actually my first ever Jane Austen book. It was given to me by my aunt when I was 12 or 13, I believe. It's got a very pretty little like from the library of sticker that my aunt put in it. So graduation 2007. So this was for my middle school graduation. Okay. And then Love, Aunt Pat, and then my name, which is my maiden name, obviously. This book is so special to me. So I'll take the dust jacket off so you can see. It's so pretty. Not as pretty as Sense and Sensibility, but So this is actually the book that our ring bearer carried our rings down the aisle on for our wedding. We tied it on with a piece of white ribbon and it looked really pretty, and it was very special to me to have my aunt be a part of the ceremony because she is no longer with us. And also, of course, to include Jane Austen because it's Jane Austen and it was a wedding. And also one of my favorite authors and one of my favorite books. Now we have another edition of Pride and Prejudice. This is one of the Penguin cloth-bound classics, and this was given to me recently by my husband's grandparents for Christmas. And it's so pretty. I love it. I have not read it from this copy yet. I don't know if I want to. It's so nice. Like, my other copy is nice, but it's kind of beat up since I've had it since I was like 13. So Whereas I'm like, oh, this one's so good and pretty. I don't wanna spoil it. I've also heard that sometimes the like design on the covers can come off when you're reading these. So I'm like, no, I want to keep it pretty. But yeah, gorgeous. Gorgeous. It was such a nice gift for them to give me. Next up, we have Emma, and this is a Norton Critical Edition. It is the second edition, edited by Stephen M. Parrish. I got this in high school as well. It's a used copy. So the Norton Critical Editions have a bunch of stuff in the back to give context. So it's just called backgrounds. So like biographical notices, a bit from letters, and then part of the Watsons, and then reviews and criticism. So reviews starting with Sir Walter Scott, actually, and going up until whatever present day was for when this came out, which it's old. So I kind of want to get a pretty edition of Emma as well. I would like to have pretty editions of all of them and then also have like my reading copies, but for now this is all I have of Emma. Next up, we have my copy of Northanger Abbey. This is a modern library edition. I have had this since high school as well, so it's a little bit beat up. This came to England with me because we studied Northanger Abbey in my class on the 19th century city. I like this edition. It's very floppy. It's good to read. And the print is decent, unlike some others. But yeah, I need to reread Northanger Abbey. I haven't reread it since that class, actually, which was a while ago now. Next up, we have Persuasion, and for this I have the Oxford World's Classics edition, which I love these. I actually don't have like the typical penguin black spine of any of Austen's, which is really interesting because I would say those are my favorite, whereas Oxford is like a second favorite. But anyway, I got this edition in my undergrad because we studied this in my class called the Novel in Context. I did my final paper on it, on marriage and courtship. And yes, I love Oxford World Classics. They look so nice on my shelf. They've got good notes. It has appendixes. Oh, an original ending. I don't think I've ever read that. And then rank and social status, dancing, Austen and the Navy, and then the textual notes. So this is my favorite ever Jane Austen book, so I definitely do want to get a special edition of it someday. Like I said, I want special editions of all of them, but I mean, if I could get Folio Society editions, but I am content with this for now. Next up, we have Lady Susan, the Watsons, and Sanditon. This is a Penguin Classics, but it is one of the older editions. So I have only read this once. I don't really remember it all that well. But, you know, even though the older Penguin Classics aren't my favorite aesthetically, they have good notes and they're readable, and I like that. And for the last of our actual novels, we have Mansfield Park. This is a Bantam Classic edition, and I kind of hate it. I got it used probably in high school, again, at the very least in college. The print is really small. I'm not a fan of this edition. I do want to get a different one, but I'm like priorities. And Mansfield Park is not super high on my list of priorities, even though it is no longer my least favorite Austen. I will say that for it. It went up in my esteem upon my last reread of it. Next, we have this edition of Juvenilia called Volume the Second. This is a Clarendon Press edition edited by B.C. Southam, and it is from 1963. This was a birthday gift from my father. He took me to an antique bookstore in Boston and I bought some books. Not like super old antiques because we don't have that kind of money, but still older and very nice. If you've watched some of my videos before, you might know my experience with these pages. They were uncut and I had to cut them myself and it was a trial. And apparently this used to belong to Elizabeth Raymond Thomas. Whoever she is. Thanks, Elizabeth Raymond Thomas, for the book. I'm enjoying it. This is what I am currently reading for Jane Austen July. It is my first time reading it because, again, the pages were uncut and cutting them was stressful. But I'm really enjoying this. I do want to get volume 1 and volume 3. I wish I could get them in this same edition, but I know that's very unlikely. And the last piece of work by Jane Austen that I have is this little Penguin Classics edition of The Beautiful Cassandra, which is another one of her juvenilia. And I got this at the Jane Austen Center in Bath. I think it was like £1 or £2. And I was like, well, you know, it's only £1 or £2. That's what I do. I'm like, oh, if it's only a few dollars, it's fine. Anyway, this is really cute. I've only read it once, so I do need to reread it. I like these a lot. They're so adorable. They're just so cute. I want to get more of them. This is the only one that I have. So those are the books by Jane Austen. Let's get into the books about Jane Austen. The first one that I have was given to me by my mother, and this is large. This is Jane Austen's World, The Life and Times of England's Most Popular Author by Maggie Lane. It was published to commemorate the 200th anniversary of Pride and Prejudice. So this is beautiful. It's got pictures and there we go. And it's got information not just on Jane Austen herself, but on the actual customs and world of Regency England. So this is very fun. I've not read it all the way through, but I have read parts of it. Next, we have Jane Austen Early and Late by Freya Johnston. I have not read this yet. I bought it at a conference. This is actually analyzing Jane Austen's juvenilia, which now that I am reading some more of it than I have read, I'm very excited to read this. Probably not this year, but maybe. You never know. I love this. It's so pretty. I feel like so many Jane Austen books have this really pretty blue color that this is, and I think it just works. Next up is a biography. This is Jane Austen at Home by Lucy Worsley. I actually started reading this and then didn't have time to finish it, but I've heard so many good things about it and I really want to get to it. I also love this cover. The covers are just so pretty for all of these. And another biography. This is Jane Austen, A Life by Claire Tomalin. See, it's that blue again. I like the blue. This is what I am hoping to read for Jane Austen July as my nonfiction read. I have had this for a few years. I bought it at a used bookstore. I guess I should say I got Jane Austen at Home as a birthday or Christmas present from my mother. But yeah, definitely hoping to get to this one finally because I've had it for a while. Now we have the last of the books about Jane Austen, or is it about Jane Austen? I don't really know how to describe this one. This is Playing Jane Austen, Parlor Plays for Drawing Room Performance by Rosina Philippi, and is done by the British Library. I bought this at the National Theatre in London. In this, Philippi has kind of adapted scenes from the different novels to be plays, because of course, if you know anything about Jane Austen, you know that she very much loved the theater, and doing theatricals plays a big role, particularly in Mansfield Park. I thought that this would be a really fun teaching tool, actually, if I ever get to teach a Jane Austen novel, which I sure hope that I will. It's got scenes such as the strawberry picnic from Emma, the conversation between Catherine Morland and Isabella Thorpe on literary tastes from Northanger Abbey, the proposal of Mr. Collins, which would be super fun, and the visit from Lady Catherine in Pride and Prejudice. I wish it had Mr. Darcy's proposal scene. Oh well. So I just thought that this could be potentially fun to use in the classroom to kind of act out what is going on in the novel, because I think sometimes it can be very hard for students to be able to read it and know if they're not familiar with 19th century literature. So acting it out might actually help them get a grasp on what the feelings of the scenes are, what the purpose of them is, why it's important, etc. So also it was just cute. I mean, look at it, it's cute. So that is all of the books about Jane Austen. I don't have as many as I do for the Brontes. I do want to get more, but you know, my husband keeps telling me I need to buy less books. Anyway, let's move into the movies. We are going to start with films and then move into miniseries. And the first is, of course, the 2005 version of Pride and Prejudice, directed by Joe Wright, starring Keira Knightley. This is my favorite version of Pride and Prejudice. It's the one I saw first. I'm in love with Keira Knightley. It's perfect for me. I have this deluxe 2-disc DVD gift set that, like, it opens up, and then it has the movie as well as a little book that kind of talks about the making of the movie and the different characters, and it's really fun, and you get to see some fun pictures of the cast. It also came with a CD of some of the music, but that has been lost. I don't know what happened to that, so oh well. Next up we have Emma, directed by Autumn de Wilde and starring Anya Taylor-Joy. This came out in 2020? I think 2020. Oh, terrible year. Oh well, at least this came out in it. I really enjoy this one. I love the costuming. It's so stylized and fun. I've really only seen this one twice, I think. Once in theaters and then once again when I got it on DVD. Should watch it again. I don't think my husband would like it. We have, of course, the 1995, I believe, Sense and Sensibility, who I can never remember the director of, but we've got Emma Thompson, Kate Winslet, Alan Rickman, and Hugh Grant. So, you know, it's a great cast. I've seen this one quite a few times. Again, I would love to watch it again. I just love. Also, like, the cast. Alan Rickman as Colonel Brandon. And then for the final of the films, we have Northanger Abbey. This is the, I believe, ITV 2000 something TV movie, which then aired on PBS Masterpiece Theater. And I am hoping to watch this for this Jane Austen July because I either haven't seen it or saw it and don't remember it at all. So I would like to watch it. Next, we move into the mini-series, and all of these are done by the BBC and then aired on PBS Masterpiece Theater. First, we've got Emma. This is my favorite adaptation of Emma. So we've got, oh my God, what's her name? Really? You're gonna put it on the back? Romola Gary as Emma. I don't know if I pronounced that right. And then Johnny Lee Miller as Mr. Knightley. And he's my favorite Mr. Knightley. I love him so much. I love this adaptation. I think it is so perfect. Like, I love the movie version, the 2020 movie version as well, but I think this is like truly the best adaptation of Emma. I want to watch it again now. I don't think my husband would like it. I never get to watch things if we don't both like it. Then we have Persuasion with Sally Hawkins as Anne Elliot and Rupert Penry Jones as Captain Wentworth. Don't know who he is, but I love this adaptation too. It's the only one I've seen of Persuasion. I should probably see there. I know there's an older one from the 90s that I have not seen, and I probably should, but I do like this one. And then finally we have Sense and Sensibility. And it doesn't say anything about the actors on the back here. That's not helpful to me. I think this one's definitely underrated because the movie of Sense and Sensibility is so well known, but this was a great adaptation. And I want to watch it again. God, I want to watch all of these again. The only one I've seen recently is Pride and Prejudice because my father-in-law loves it. And so we've watched it together a few times and made my husband watch it with us. Oh, I really want to watch the rest of these now though. Oh. Alas. Maybe someday when we have a house with more than one room with a TV. So those are all of the movies. Now we're just gonna go into the kind of random knickknacks, of which I have a few. So the first one is a candle done by Pattywax Library. So it is their Jane Austen candle with gardenia, tuberose, and jasmine. Smells very nice. I wish I lived somewhere where I could light candles, but I don't. This was also given to me by the same roommate that gave me Sense and Sensibility. What a sweetheart. Like, thank you. I love candles. I have so many candles that I never get to light. But, you know, I especially love literary themed candles. I have one from the same company given by the same roommate for the Brontes. And then we have a new edition. This is a Pride and Prejudice coaster that my mother-in-law gave me for Christmas. I love it. I just love it so much. I have one for Jane Eyre as well that she gave me. Now we have two pieces of jewelry that were both from the Jane Austen Center in Bath. The first is this Pride and Prejudice pendant that says Elizabeth and Mr. Darcy, or Darcy and Elizabeth, rather. I wear this a lot. I like it. I've kind of gotten out of wearing jewelry. I should get back into it. I have a lot of literary jewelry. Shocking. Then I adore this one because of how understated it is. This is this little bar necklace from Persuasion. And it has, you pierce my soul, I am half agony, half hope. I love this one so much. And like, people can't tell it's literary jewelry because it just looks like a little pendant. So, great. So that is my Jane Austen collection. I do think I have a puzzle, but it is at my parents' house. I don't think it's ever been opened, which I should open it and I should bring it here to my house, but oh well. So let me know down in the comments below, what's your Jane Austen collection look like? Do you have any of the same editions or books as me? What are some of your favorite film adaptations? Do you have random coasters and candles and other knickknacks that are Jane Austen themed? If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and like and subscribe to see more of my bookish content. It has been great chatting with you. I will see you soon. Bye.